Today we have the big update about this boy, the talented boy.
Wait a minute, is that Lorenz Kraus?
There are many and many goals after many and many months of negotiations.
Fabrizio? No.
To Juventus.
No, don't say it, Fabrizio, don't say it.
It's a here we go.
Damn it! Yes, sadly, it's true. Lorenz Krauss is on his way out of the club, heading to Juventus. So, how did all this come about, and why am I selling such a talented youngster from our own FC Vaduz youth academy? Well, there were two issues with Lorenz Krauss. One was that he's just so damn good, he's getting interest from some top sides in Europe, and the other was his contract. When we negotiated this, he was showing promise but was still an unproven talent. His agent insisted on a release clause and we agreed. Fast forward to now, with him scoring for fun in the Swiss League, getting goals in the Europa League and in internationals. And suddenly £4.9 million just doesn't seem that much. Add in the fact that his agent was refusing to open new contract talks, and it was a case of negotiate a sale now, with a few add-ons, or risk losing him for the release fee with no future benefits, or even worse, on a free transfer. So here's the deal, 2.9 million up front, and then the future benefits. We get a money-spinning friendly with Juventus coming to the Rhine Park Stadium. We get 1.2 million more after just 10 games for the club. We get a 20% percentage of next sale, and perhaps most crucially in the short term, we get him loaned back to us for a season. So what do you think? Good deal, or have I gone mad? If you want to tell me what a terrible mistake I made, well, that's what the comments are for. So in other transfer news, we brought in 3 new faces. Ala Bakir joins on a free from St. Gallen, the Jordanian international, adding some depth to our options out wide. Farrell Johnson joins on a free transfer from Nottingham Forest as a backup in defence. And also joining as a backup, this time in goal, a younger German keeper, Timo Schliek. On the transfers outside, Dejan Djokic was our main departure. With the likes of Kraus and Burmester up front now, he simply wasn't needed. And Christian Dobras also left to make way for Ala Bakir. So with the transfers all done, it's time to get stuck into this year's Europa League campaign. Our last couple of runs in Europe seem to have risen our stock, as we got a bye to the third qualifying round, where we would face Slovenian side Olympia. We made short work of them in the home leg, with new signing Bakir amongst the goals. And in the return leg, our new loan signing Kraus got a brace, setting up a playoff round clash with Rosenborg. 2 hopes for the future of club and country secured our win in the home leg, young Fabio Burmester and the other Fabio Fair, who will soon represent Liechtenstein. In the away leg, early goals from Kraus and Burmester set us on our way, and that got us into the league phase for a second season in a row. Look, there we are, down near the bottom. But we don't intend to stay there for long. Now, who will we actually play in the league phase? Let's find out. So we start with Rapid Vienna. We beat them last season, didn't we? And next, well, we've already beaten one Norwegian team in Rosenborg in this campaign, and now we have to play another one. That's odd. Then 2 massive back-to-back games as we travel to Italy to take on Fiorentina and then host Tottenham Hotspur a couple of weeks later. And our final 2 games before the new year are both winnable, I think, as we play CFR Cluj at home and then travel to Belgium to take on Ostend. And we better hope we've secured enough points for qualification by that stage, as we then have to relive last year's nightmare at Lyon. Yes, I know, let's just not go there, okay? And then we take on Feyenoord in our final game. Post your predictions in the comments, please. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. And what's this? Straight into the action? Oh yes, no waiting around for the next episode. This time, as Holgado and then Lorenz Kraus gave us a quick-fire lead against Vienna. Rapid did get one back in the second half, but still, a solid opening win. Holgado was off the mark early again in our next game, but our strange Nordic opponents were able to equalise before the break. How odd. Step forward, young defender Tony Block to restore our lead, and lonely Lorenz Kraus to make certain of things in stoppage time. An odd number of goals to beat an odd team. And early days, I know, but look at that, we're riding high in 5th. But with Fiorentina and Spurs up next, how long would that last? Well, we only travelled to Florence and turned in one of the greatest European upsets ever, didn't we? Jankovic starting the party, then Holgaldo really sending out those shockwaves. No doubt a few harsh words were used to rile the Fiorentina players up at half-time, and they soon had us pegged back at 2-2. Now, if you're expecting a late Kraus winner, nearly, but not quite, as we got the goal on 90+4, but it was unsung hero Blumenthal who scored it for an epic win. So one of my best football manager results ever. But could we go one better in our next game against Tottenham Hotspur? Spurs are, of course, a team we have played before and narrowly lost to before in Europe. But my God, we were terrible in the first half. Lucky to only find ourselves 2 goals down by the half-time break. Early in the second half, and Kraus would go close as we showed some spirit. And could that be the spark that set off an amazing comeback? Well, possibly, as Jankovic came up big once again. We went in search of that equaliser and hit the woodwork. We kept pushing and fighting and trying to claw our way back into the match. And with 6 minutes to go, Fair and Jankovic fed the ball to Kraus, and he doesn't miss those. What a comeback, eh? Well, our joy lasted about 30 seconds. Right from the kickoff. I just knew it was a bad omen as soon as this highlight came up. But Spurs played it out to Son, and why Martinez chose to clear that instead of just letting it out for a goal kick, we'll never know. And yet again, we lost narrowly to Tottenham Hotspur. Nevertheless, we were still well positioned in the table, still 5th, and had winnable games against CFR Cluj and Ostend coming up next. Cluj proved as easy as we had hoped, Fair scoring first off this scramble, and then his partner in Fabio Burmester bagging himself a second-half brace, a 3-0 win and very much back on track. If Cluj were easy opponents, Ostend were pitiful ones, as we waltzed our way to an emphatic win. Kraus and Burmester started things off, then Holgado got in on the goal-scoring action, before Kraus added his second of the night, and then Fur curled in this sweet free kick, and all that before half-time. And take a look at this table. We are 3rd with 2 games to go, and in with a great chance of making the top 8 and qualifying directly to the round of 16. And all we would need to make sure of that was a single point off either Lyon or Feyenoord in one of our final 2 games. 1 point, that was all, but we wouldn't get it. Now, we would not be humiliated by Lyon this time, but they were simply too good for us again as they got the comeback 2-1 win. And the Feyenoord game was one we should have won, but we just couldn't score. So where does that leave us? Have we blown our chance to finish in the top 8 and avoid the playoff knockout round? Thankfully, surprisingly, no. We dropped all the way back to 8th, but those 5 wins were just enough to get us in amongst the top seeds. So we bypassed that knockout playoff round, and I don't know about you, but I've got my eye on one of either Basel, because we know we can beat them, Sparta Prague, or Apoel Nicosia for the next round. So we took front row seats for the draw. Ruud van Nistelrooy was master of ceremonies. And as the teams came out of the hat, we avoided some of the bigger names, some of the teams that we didn't want to play. And then out came one of the teams we did want to play, Sparta Prague, but they got Tottenham. Next out, Apoel Nicosia, and we did get them. It was the best draw we could have had. It was the team we wanted. Thank you very much, Ruud. We'll take it. And that, my friends, is enough excitement for one episode. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Kraus transfer and the loan back deal, what you think about our Europa League run, and our chances once we get past Apoel Nicosia. Next time, we'll be catching up on our Swiss League campaign, so make sure you like and subscribe.